afternoon, students. Welcome to What to Expect again this evening. I have with us some very special guests, Kyle Moore, AVP of Enrollment Management, and Kawana King, Director of the Registrar. It's so great to have you all here this evening. And with that, Registrar King, why don't you start with, can you just tell us a little bit about what the Office of the Registrar does?
Well, hello, Dr. Courtney, and thank you for providing a general question that most folks don't know. So I'm very happy to share what the Office of the Registrar does. Many of you will visit my office for reasons such as requesting a transcript, a verification of enrollment. You will at some point submit your application for graduation, which is always exciting, at the culmination of your academic experience here. After a number of years, the Office of the Registrar awards degrees. So in addition to just those three that I mentioned that seem to be the most popular, there are several resources that the Office of the Registrar provides, and we would love for you to reach out to us with detailed information. Our contact number is 307-766-5272. We would love to hear from you, so please feel free in reaching out to us at your leisure.
Excellent. So, Registrar King, let's talk a little bit about what might be some really important or key dates.
To please be mindful of key dates and deadlines for each semester. It is really important that you make yourself aware of those key dates. On August 27th, that will be the deadline that students are able to add classes or modify their schedule in any shape, fashion, or form. It is really important that you know that you have just a few days to make changes to your schedule. So please reach out to your advisor with any inquiries you have about adding a class or maybe changing that section. Maybe a 9 a.m. class doesn't work for you and you want to find something that may begin at 1 p.m. Please reach out to your advisor early and by August 27th, because that is the last time you can add or change your schedule for the fall. Our drop deadline is September 2nd, and it's really important you be mindful of that time also, because after that, you are officially set in your classes after September 2nd. So if you need to add, change, or drop your classes, you've got 2 days you're working with. August 27th is the last day to add or change your class. September 2nd is the last day to drop a class. So please be mindful of those days.
Excellent. Well stated. I think really clear. I guess if I were a student, AVP Moore, how might I better understand why those dates matter? Can you give us some more information about that?
I'm happy to do so. I think the thing that's most important is we want every student to know that we want to give them every possibility to succeed. So we want to make sure that students don't miss important lectures and discussion from faculty in those first couple of class periods that really set the tone and the foundation for the rest of the semester. And that's why that 4 days is really important. As Registrar King mentioned, August 27th, that's this coming Thursday, when that is the time frame to make those changes. So please talk to your advisor about adding or changing your schedule in this first few days. When it comes to the drops, the things we want you to think about before that September 2nd date are how it will affect the time it takes you to complete your degree. Every class that you take and you earn towards completion of your degree is really important. So drop in a class impacts that final destination time frame. It also impacts your part-time or full-time status. There can be financial aid and scholarship impacts to dropping a class. And that's also when we know that schedules are set, like Ms. King said, and then we begin dispersing or making the financial aid awards to your account. So it's really important to have all of your adding of classes or shifting your schedule done in the first 4 days, And then if you really need to drop a class, you do that by September 2nd. And then we will disperse financial aid and scholarships on beginning September 3rd. So please talk to your advisor early and often in these next few days, and you'll have the very best foundation for a successful semester.
Thank you both so much for those clear, concise messages to our students, particularly as this semester is already a little bit complicated as we have phased in different approaches, and those dates really are important to them making the best decisions possible. As we think about that, maybe we could discuss a bit more about how a student might, let's say, starting to go really well this semester, or perhaps life changes or something else occurs. What are some other key concepts that students should be aware of as we start thinking about the semester moving forward?
Again, great question, Dr. Courtney. What we would like for students to consider as we begin this journey, we shared on the front end key dates. We'll find ourselves in the middle of the semester, which we aptly name midterm. A lot of things happen. We wholly expect for our students to be fully engaged in the semester. They've leaned in. Half the journey is complete, and we're heading steadfastly towards the end of the semester. So midterms will begin October 15th. The students could experience a midterm exam, but it's just a benchmark in the semester that lets students know where they are. They've acclimated to the environment, and we're really excited that our emerging adults are still with us, and looking forward to finishing up the semester in December. What we have are opportunities for the student at the end of October to begin preparing, registering for spring. So we still have a lot of things going on. We expect for our students to still be engaged with us, communicating with us. So please be mindful again of those key dates, which can be found on the Office of the Registrar webpage, which is uwyo.edu/registrar. Know what the key dates are, and we're always here.
I'm also curious, and maybe AVP Moore, you could give us a bit of a sense of the other opportunities that might exist, particularly if a student feels overwhelmed or unsure of what might happen for them. Or let's say there's a hiccup in the semester and they need to reconsider perhaps their grading or reconsider the semester in general. Could you give us some of those key concepts or things that we call SU or all school withdrawals?
That's a great question. You know, the fall 2020 semester is not beginning in the way or look like what all of us really wanted or imagined, right? We've all had some disruption and some requirement to be flexible and change due to the COVID-19 disruptions. And what we recognize through that process is there may be additional impacts. There may be things that happen to your life and your situation and you personally that you didn't anticipate and you never thought would be a factor to navigate, let alone just setting forth to have a really positive fall semester. And so we have a withdrawal process if it's necessary. If you find yourself between a rock and a hard place, and the very best decision for you moving forward is to withdraw from the university, we have a process that you can do that. It's called the All School Withdrawal, and it's initiated through our Dean of Students office. And what that office is going to do, first, is they're going to give you some support in making sure that all the factors implicated around the potential of a drop have been addressed. So how and does it affect your financial aid? How and does it affect your time to graduation? What are the possible other opportunities or solutions or compromises that might be available that you simply weren't aware of to begin with? Because here's the thing, we want every student to be successful. We want every student to have that opportunity to be a member of the UW alumni family as soon as possible. And so we're going to provide all the additional opportunities for support and success that maybe you didn't know. It's a great resource to reach out to the Dean of Students anytime. But if you're in a situation where that really is going to be the best solution for you, here's what you do. You either call the Dean of Students office at 307-766-3296. That's 307-766-3296. Or you can email the Dean of Students at dos@uwyo.edu. And even in this crazy time, if it comes down to that's the solution that you need, the University of Wyoming is going to recognize that challenge. And all the way up until our census date, that's the official date where we look at all the enrollment and we report back to the U.S. government and the Department of Education about how many students are enrolled and where are they from and all those things. The University of Wyoming will even consider providing up to 100% of your tuition and fee refund. So know that we are doing everything we can to make sure that you can navigate your path to a UW degree as successfully as possible. And so that 100% tuition refund opportunity through that exception process of your all-school withdrawal is going to be available all the way to September 13th, which is when we report those numbers out for our fall semester. So reach out for help. The Dean of Students office and the Office of the Registrar will do everything they can to make sure the very best choice for your success is taken care of.
That was so excellent. I love the passion, and it's just gleaning from you. So thank you so much. And I think the last piece I want to talk about, and Registrar King, maybe you could mention a bit about this, is let's say as a student, this is similar to what happened in the spring, and maybe it will look a little bit different in the fall. But as a student is starting to go through the journey of their class, and let's say we have to make a pivot or something else changes based off of the COVID pandemic, are there going to be choices or options for SU grading moving forward this fall? And perhaps Registrar King, you could talk about that, or AVP Moore, either one.
Yes, ma'am. I will provide you with a brief summation as it relates to SU grading. SU grading is an option at the University of Wyoming. The option to choose SU grading occurs at the same time, and the deadline is the same time of the add period. So a student has until August 27th to decide whether he or she opt for SU grading. After that, the grade mode that is by default the option of the course will remain in place. Some of the things to consider for students to consider when they're opting for SU is how will that translate to their plan of study? If that grade is applicable to that program that he or she has chosen. So the student would really need to speak with his or her advisor before making those decisions. And one final bit of information as it relates to SU grading, SU grades are not factored into a student's cumulative GPA. So it doesn't impact one's SAP. So be mindful of those things, but please communicate with your advisor about any of those options, grading options that you're considering for your grade. We really want to make sure that we've afforded you all of the information that you need to be successful here. But again, there are deadlines, and we want to make sure that we've afforded you all of the knowledge that you need to make informed decisions. So please do not hesitate in reaching out to us. There's detailed information about SU grading or registration processes on the Office of the Registrar webpage. And again, that is uwyo.edu/registrar. So please go back, review, and if there's still areas of gray, please contact us. We are here to answer your questions.
Well said. Well, such a pleasure to be with you all in this time. And I know that there may be other questions or concerns this semester. And so I'm sure it won't be too long before we get some more of what to expect together. So Registrar King and AVP Moore, what a great experience. I think our students are well informed in this time period, and we'll have more later. Thank you so much.